So on our earlier assessment of our Blackwood, we had noticed that the front fascia was cracked. Fog light was obviously missing as well. I've already removed it. It's a little bit of a challenge on these, not terrible. Your biggest challenge is these kind of tabs that sit in here. You kind of got to reach behind there to get the front fascia off after you remove some 7mm and some 11mm nuts. Now I knew the fascia was damaged, but I didn't know the extent of the damage to the front bumper. The front bumper is pretty well beat up. You know, you think back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s for that matter, the bumper itself was part of the actual exterior of the vehicle. It was chrome, it was big, it was an energy absorbent, and they were they were out there. Today, your bumper is now covered by what we call the front fascia. So it's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, if you will, on the vehicle. So the bumper itself is the one that's designed to take the impact. Fascia, they're plastic. You know, they might get hit and they could bounce back a little bit. So you don't know the extent of the damage until you actually take the fascia off and look behind here. And you can tell that I've got numerous impacts just the way that this bumper is. It's got a lot of impacts. Took a lot more damage than I thought it did. Good collision in the front end. Knocked some panels loose, broke some other shields underneath, and the left inner fender well is damaged as well. So I'm gonna need to replace these components. Now the good thing is, you know, Blackwood owners are a little concerned that it's hard to find parts. And it can be for some of the things, especially anything with the tonneau cover. But the front end of this is basically a Navigator. Same with the interior, a lot of Navigator components. So if you can find a Navigator in a junkyard anywhere from the 98 to 2002 range, the front fascia, front bumper, all of those are the same components. I'm gonna remove the actual bumper itself. Once you have the fascia off, it's really just a matter of disconnecting your fog lights with the electrical connector. And you've got 421mm bolts that are securing it to the actual frame itself. And then you can remove the entire bumper assembly. And that's what we're gonna do now. Get it out of the way. That way when my new parts arrive, I can bolt them on and get ready to get it painted and whatever else we've gotta do to this vehicle. And you'll see, sake of time and everything else, they're already loose. They're already ready to come off. And here's our bumper. So you can see we've got our new bumper and our fascia. Yeah, it's red and gray, but we know we're also going to be painting this truck. The more important thing was I needed that new bumper reinforcement and a non-cracked fascia. Again, with the Blackwood, it's an oddball truck. There's no question about that. But it did share a lot of components with the Lincoln Navigator. So I found parts for a Lincoln Navigator and got the front bumper and cover from there. They're a bolt up, it's direct. There's no difference in the way that the styling is of it. Obviously the paint's different, but the bumper support's the same, the fog lights are the same. So it's pretty much a plug and play. So I'm gonna go ahead and install my bumper reinforcement first. I'm gonna get those 4 nuts started on the back. I'm not gonna tighten them all the way up yet though. You do have a little bit of side to side that I wanna kind of get lined up perfectly with the fascia, and then I'll finish tightening them down and getting it all buttoned up. But at least this part is now no longer damaged and the fascia's not cracked. It's gonna be easy to paint and we'll get that handled in no time at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide that on. When I take parts off, I like to wipe everything down behind there, which I already did. Wipe down the old parts down. Just, I don't know, it just looks better. It just makes me feel better. I'm probably slightly insane too. right, all that's left to do to secure the fascias, I got a couple 10mm or 11mm bolts in the corners there, a couple 7mm on the side, and the fascia is back in place and ready to be painted. Hey, it looks weird now, but it looks a lot better than it did when we first drove it in.